We need to record it, yeah.
Okay, do we have a quorum, Brandon?
Yes, ma'am. You want me to call roll?
No, just as long as you counted. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Approval of minutes?
Make a motion approved.
Do we have a discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, old business, 5.1.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I just want to make for the record that we have Andrew Krager here tonight with Lotion Associates to give us our update on the roadscapes project.
Okay, and please make sure that we get the correct spelling of his name.
Kraeger.
He's got a card he's fixing to pay.
And I have left my glasses in the car, so I'm gonna have to put on my prescription sunglasses,
So
so,
you
you know,
look
I'm gonna be
cool.
like Joe Cool, but, you know,
Photos.
otherwise I can't see.
got it.
Oh, shut up, Mike. Okay, so the Mapco property,
I believe you have my report in front of you. This has been a long-going process. The original guy I contacted, I didn't hear from him for a few days. I contacted him back. He was no longer with MAPCO, so I had to deal with a new gentleman by the name of just Easton Travis. He's been very cooperative, and I think you can see that he's going to do what we've asked to be done as far as the tree bank fund, as far as pruning the trees.
And on the pruning of the existing trees, that's something I guess I'm supposed to go back and follow up on to look
After
and
it's
see.
done, yeah.
Now,
And
how,
I
is
would
that something you'll let me know
Yes,
that
sir.
it's done?
Yes, sir. And what I would suggest is to wait till after they become dormant somewhat. Would
Yeah,
you,
well, he could do it now.
would you agree with that?
Oh, he could do it now. You're right at that threshold of dormancy, so it's not gonna hurt anything if he did it. I mean, and we are talking about, to be more specific, the trees out in front, the red buds.
I've also added a couple of oak trees
Oh, okay.
that look like to me that need
They need to be
pruned
cleaned
at
up,
the
right,
top,
right.
cleaned up,
But,
yes.
but what the specific on the existing trees, that was the red buds in
Red
the
buds,
front of the
yes, sir.
MAPCO. Okay,
okay, good job, thank you, Wayne.
good.
Let's go ahead and put it back on the agenda for next month to make sure it's pruned and everything's good to go, and we've gotten the money and everything's great, and then we can officially remove that from the agenda after that. Okay, 5.2, Walmart landscape.
Mike, you want to address that? You and I met with the
Yeah,
SI guy.
Right, and he's also got a letter for that. That's John Fraser. He is as he told us, he's not the tree guy, he is the public relations man, he's the people person. And so all he's gonna do is relay what we were showing him, that's gonna be, and pass that on to the tree person with LSI. And so, just to give y'all kind of a history on, LSI was the initial landscaper, okay? And they have the maintenance contracts with the Walmart here. You recall, last year, we had a different landscaper come in and plant the other trees. So, you know, and he was not aware of that, all right? So they are, and the new manager at Walmart is obviously more progressive and proactive in getting, so he went to LSI, and that might be from some letters that you had to
It
send.
actually, with Crystal Uphoff in Arkansas, Bentonville, every time I've had to go to her, she's responded within days after I talked to her, and within days, Mr. Frazier was contacting me, and that
So-
was where it come from directly.
So I told him that, and of course, he's talking about the Virginia ponds. I probably would suggest that I go in and do one more inventory within the next couple of weeks, just to make sure there's nothing else in there, so that LSI can be aware of this. And then, you know, because the guy that did the replacement this last year, some of the trees that he planted, obviously all those Virginia pines that he planted just didn't make it. So some of the oaks that he put on the backside probably need to inventory as well. So, but that's a huge deal.
And this is correct size.
This is the correct size. And, you know, that's the park property. I mean, you can see a hiking trail as you stand there where the Virginia pines are dying or dead. And you can see the trail on the park property. So the idea is to get these established evergreens in there quickly to screen out everything that's going on over there at Walmart, so. But only thing I can say is that we just wait, because it's an availability issue in
Right.
digging.
Yeah.
And so that may be 30 to 60 days
Yes.
before they can dig them.
But we've got activity on it, and that's the good thing.
A commitment,
Yes.
it's a commitment.
Brandon, will you attach these 3 documents, please, to the minutes? Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I know that's been it'll be good not to sit on the agenda. Okay, any more discussion about Walmart? 5.3, update on the roadscapes project.
Okay. I believe the last time I was here and addressed you all, the last thing that we were waiting on was the utility certification. We have that. We have all of our certifications and we've made all of our submittals to TDOT. And as of the first week of September, we were waiting for a notice to proceed to construction. What that means is they'll obligate funds and actually issue us a letter that will allow us to go out to bid. And with respect to the schedule that we have for dormancy and plant material, it behooves us to go ahead and get that underway as soon as possible. There's been some transition at TDOT, and the person that was responsible for all of the roadscapes projects that works with me closely has resigned, and now those have kind of filtered off to the different regions. So I've been in contact with the person that's now responsible at TDOT for that, but they just got the project assignment on Friday, and I let them know where we were at with our schedule, but it was communicated to me that they're at since it's federal funding that's got to come through, when they make their request for funding to be allocated, it goes to this server, and that server was down until the middle to end of this month, so it can be reset for next year. They can go ahead and make the submittal, but it'll just be waiting in a queue until the federal government gets going back again. Yeah, and then once that comes back through, we'll get our notice to proceed to construction, and then we'll be able to put the project out on the street for bid. I'm still optimistic that we can get it done this season, but there are a few things left that will take some time. For example, we want to advertise it in the paper for probably about a week to make sure that it gets good visibility. From the last day that it's published in the newspaper, we have to wait 3 weeks before we can open the bids.
Isn't there a requirement there, how many times it's got to run, and how many papers?
It'll need to run in 3 newspapers. It'll need to run in a minority, regional, and a local.
Okay.
And then,
Was there a 2-week status on it?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
From the
It has to
last
run
day
3
it's
weeks.
published. No, it doesn't,
No.
there's no criteria for how long it
Once.
has to run. It just has to run once.
Okay.
But, it gives you more exposure to have it in the paper longer, obviously,
But if it ends today, then we have to wait 3 weeks from today before
before
we
you'll be
can.
able to open the bids.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll work to go through the bids and, figure out which one is the lowest responsive bidder. Submit our paperwork back in to TDOT for that, and then we'll have to wait for concurrence from them. When we get concurrence, then it's another 2 weeks to schedule the materials and testing guys and the construction guys for a kickoff meeting. Following that, we can issue our notice to proceed to the contractor to start work. So working back from that, I think that kind of puts us, assuming we get our approvals by the end of this month, pretty much right at the end of December, if everything runs as smoothly as possible.
Ground frozen solid.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes, or worse, I will work in frozen ground, but work in thawed out
Mud.
here in Middle Tennessee is one of the worst things. And so it could be rolling on into spring.
We hope not.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm being realistic because of I know the green industry.
Right.
This could really roll into spring.
It could.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, you and I will talk closer to time as the arborist to figure out, where we're at and what we need to do. But I wanted to make sure that we don't have that conversation and then everything drags out longer and we've got to revisit it again, so.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of where we're at right now with the roadscapes project.
Mr. Krager,
Yes, sir.
our engineer on the resurfacing grant that we just finished up with, he handled the bid opening. Will you handle the bid opening on this, or do we need to handle it from a city standpoint?
You'll handle, the way it's worked well, because you'll have contractors that are local, we'll provide you with sets of plans and bid specifications.
Okay.
And then someone here at the city will maintain those in the plan holders list.
Okay.
You'll open the bids, and then you just send it to me, and I'll prepare the submittal for TDOT.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I can pull all that together, but usually let the city handle the bid
Does he
opening.
know?
Well, when can we
It is, it's pertaining
do
to
the bid
roadscape.
opening? I mean, do we have to wait for this period, or is that something we could go ahead and be doing?
I'm working on now, and instead of having to wait until the end of October, I don't have an answer just yet. But there's an 80-20 match, and I would like to use our local, the 20% local funds to go ahead and run the advertisements. But we have to get permission from the state to do that. And we've talked with Sean Bible about that already, or Chris Camp in our office has talked with Sean Bible about that already.
Okay.
But with this having federal funding, we want to make sure that we have somebody's blessing before we do that, so that we don't jeopardize the entire, bid process.
Is there any possibility, and I realize there's a possibility, what's the likelihood or percentage of possibility that something could happen, those federal funds don't come through?
I think that's very unlikely.
They've already been allocated.
They've already been kind of earmarked.
Well, I know. But, we thought by now we'd be turning dirt too, so,
Well, the funding's already been allocated. You have your project, so I don't think there's any chance of them pulling it away, as long as we follow the guidelines that they keep in front of us. Now, if we start trying to jump ahead, that might create a problem.
That'll give them a reason to be able to pull.
Right.
so,
I believe that you're still under, your agreement goes out to, or extends out till next spring. But we've had extensions in the past, and I don't see any reason, since we've been moving it forward, that they wouldn't give us an extension again, especially based on the fact that this is kind of their fault.
not our
that we're
fault,
not-
yeah.
Actually, at TDOT right now, I'm dealing with 3 different persons that's took over in their changeover. We knew it was coming. It wasn't anything about it. Denise Baker's who you're dealing with, I think.
Right.
And I'm dealing with her to finalize this resurfacing on the invoicing there. But they're all super nice. They still got the same supervisor. So, they've been made aware, and when Monique resigned and went somewhere else, we lost a good one there. She's been very good to Fairview through the years, so. But when those changes change, we have to sort of bend with them, so. And that's where I went from the MPO the other day. I went straight over to talk to all of those people that was in charge of the grants that we got going right now, so. But they're on top of the game, and, back when the resurfacing was being done, one local guy lost the bid. We had to refuse the bid because he didn't put his insurance on a TDOT form. He put it on the insurance company's form. So we had to go back and rebid the resurfacing. That's what took so long of getting the roads resurfaced. But you have to follow every guideline that they've got.
And in that spirit, we've had some bids that were rejected in other cities for very similar minute details. I think there was one that didn't have a date on the insurance form that you're talking about.
We had the same thing.
And
The date was wrong,
they
too.
rejected it for that reason. So what I'm doing is contacting contractors that we've worked with before on roadscapes projects so that they're familiar, and notifying them when these bids are going out, or these advertisements are in the paper, so that we know we've got somebody that has done all the paperwork before.
Are these contractors local, Mid-South, or?
They're all in the region, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you talk about using the match money, what did you want to use that for going
So
now?
go ahead and advertise.
And that's not gonna be any problem with the requirements?
Well, that's what we're trying to check into right now. We want
Okay.
to make sure that that's going to be okay with them before we do it.
Basically, what you're saying is since the money is kind of froze up right now as far as waiting on the reopening accounts at the end of October, that's something we can go ahead and move forward with.
Right, so we
with
can
our
go ahead
funds
and-
rather than waiting on their funds, but that are coming.
Right, I understand, but
Save 3
so
weeks.
you're gonna check to make sure that's not violating any requirements?
Right.
And let us know?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not going to let you go have to bid on something like that and cause a problem. We want to make sure we've got, something written from them saying, yeah, you can go ahead and do this
Okay.
before we make that decision.
And I will check with Tom and see if we go ahead and appropriate so much for advertising so he can be getting that process done.
And that money will come out of the tree
Yes, ma'am.
fund?
I mean, it's a fairly lengthy advertisement that they have. I know if running it into Tennessee ends, it's kind of expensive.
I was
but-
gonna say, don't they count for every half word?
Right. I mean, we
half
might not need to
letter.
run it as long, especially if we have, other contractors that we can get to bid it. But we don't know what they're gonna do. They might decide that they don't want to bid it, so we want to make sure we get the exposure and we get some good contractors, bidding on the project.
What happens if it's all overbid from what?
If everything comes back in high, there's a possibility of that too, because I think it's been quite a while since this budget was put together. We try to be sensitive to that when we're putting our cost estimates together. And we've kind of relocated some plant material and maybe cut back on a few things too. If that is a scenario, we have a couple of options. We might be able to scale back the drawings to the scope of the project. The city can decide that they would like to go ahead and cover the overage, and as long as I have a letter from the city saying that, they'll let it go ahead and award it.
Have you gone through that before with any communities?
I'm
where
working
they've
through
had-
that with Cokeville right now, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When they scaled back?
They scaled back and it
the-
was still high.
Right.
They had a pretty big grant.
So what do you think, what's your knee jerk to what we have on the paper and what we may have budget-wise?
I'm a little concerned that it might come back high just based on the amount of time it's been since it was originally bid. And also with as much construction that's in the area, things that are going on now, everybody's pretty busy. So they feel like they can probably charge a little bit more. And then after talking with some nurserymen and Mike included, there's a lot of plant material that there's not as much available. So that's probably
Yeah.
driven the prices up a little bit too.
So do we have kind of a thought of what that overage might be?
In figuring your estimates, you don't have a plus or minus of what could happen?
I put a contingency in, but whenever I was running the estimate, but TDOT doesn't like to have a contingency in there. So you have to take that back. I try to be fairly conservative with what I think things are gonna cost whenever we're putting that estimate together, but we have to be respectful of the amount of money that we have in the grant anyway, so that's kind of where I work back from, right?
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
When you said something about reworking the design, I'm thinking, gosh, you put so much work into this
Well,
already, and then to think about redoing anything,
But the blessing is that if it does come in over budget, then I'm assuming that this commission can recommend that more money be pulled out of the tree fund to cover that.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
I mean, that obviously that's city.
it's just sitting there.
yeah.
So,
It can be spent for anything else.
But we won't know that, that's another
2 or 3 months, 2 months.
couple months away before we.
Yeah,
know
probably
that.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, if we can go ahead and advertise the project using the local match funds, maybe a month away, right?
Yeah.
Because we would put it in the paper as soon as we possibly could, and then 3 weeks away from that, we'd have our bid.
Yeah, this is the 1st of October. I just know we're running late right now.
Well, I mean, like I said, we were ready for them to allocate
Yeah,
funds
right.
over a month ago.
Yeah.
And if that had been the case, we'd be right where we want to be.
Yeah.
So you will notify Wayne if it's okay to
I will.
go ahead?
I'm gonna go ahead and put on the agenda for Tom to appropriate funds for the next BOC meeting, so that part will be already underway.
Do we have and while we're discussing the updates and the roadscapes, do we have any verbiage for the sign?
Let me address that toward the end of the meeting, if you don't mind. Is it an agenda item?
Well, it would
That-
be
that's
under
kind
the
of the only-
roadscapes
Yeah,
project,
it'd be
so.
under the up, down the roadscapes.
I've talked to Skip. He can get me the sign within a couple of days. But he feels that possibly we should make the verbiage on there. He's gonna do it on both sides. And I've got, TDOT's approval where to put it. So that much is underway. But I think that the tree board probably should be the one to make the verbiage on there for
Okay.
him. So if y'all have any suggestions, just let me know. I have not contacted the Cubics yet for the possibility of the 11th, primarily because of what Andrew and I had discovered with Denise Baker, until we wanted to make sure that the funding would be there.
Good, yeah, I like that.
So I didn't contact them just yet. So if y'all decide on that tonight, then I'll be putting those two things into action.
What's the size of the sign?
It's, I don't know the exact measurements, but it's about like that. It's the size of the Bowie Park sign that's on 96 as you turn to come up on by Sonic there on the ramp. What's that, 18 by 24 or something like that?
I think.
Close
Yeah.
to it.
Not very big.
And we're gonna paint it, have the lettering on both sides where it can be viewed from both sides.
What is the sign made out of? Is it like,
Metal, kind of aluminum type thing.
And what kind of post does it have? Because, we discussed the
We'll
post.
put double post.
Oh,
Breakaway,
They
the
have to be
breakaway,
breakaway.
yeah.
So we can't do one pretty post like the traffic light post?
Yeah.
and I worry about having a beautiful, landscape and then putting up a metal sign with metal.
Right.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be tacky.
That's why I'm glad he's here, is that people have put up signs,
What we've
dedication
done,
signs.
We haven't had any of them built yet, because they're all, kind of following the same. But we have designed some roadscape signs that were breakaway, but we've wrapped them with wood
Yeah.
or
Okay.
we've wrapped them,
Yeah.
in one case, we found this faux stone. It's basically like styrofoam, but in front of you on a table, it's hard to tell that it's not, and 50 miles an hour driving by it, it looks very substantial.
Better
45,
than that
45
metal.
in the middle of Fairview.
It does fit.
But light.
But there might, keep the breakaway component down below,
Yeah, so
and then we can just
we
wrap.
got money to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. Can you help us with that?
Experience. We looked at it on
We know the
Citizen.
size of the sign.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's no,
Well,
Well, that's
what's
Wayne.
the average, what,
have to go under the road and all this kind of stuff. I gotta have Mitch look into
Some of
it.
these other cities.
Tell us what you
with,
think.
It
Say
would
24
go-
by 36 at least.
I'll have to check and see what's our scope at the office of what we can do and what we can't.
Okay.
But this being a part of the roadscapes project,
It is part of the roadscapes project. We want to dedicate.
yeah, if
have
we're
a
already over,
dedication.
if we're already over anyway, what's another,
what's the
So,
size of
Mr.
the
Hall,
sign?
18 by 24 is the one that I had the Signs and Wonders look at here.
So Wayne, he's designed them before for other, so let's let him,
I would love to see it.
yeah, because he said he even had breakaway, like pretend stone, that
Right.
looked like stone if you were driving 45 miles an hour down the road.
Well, he didn't say 45.
I know he didn't say 45, I'm trying to save him.
What kind of aesthetic would you want to see there? I mean, would it be wood, or is there other signage around that we would try to?
Well, you
emulate?
tell us, what do you think?
Well, I did see a welcome to Fairview sign on 96
That has
coming
the
in.
stone.
That has stone, and I would,
Stone and wood, yes.
right, I would maybe try to replicate that. I don't know if that
I would like to see that.
faux
Yeah.
stone would actually match it, but we might be able to
But they
find
aren't
something.
close together.
Yeah.
It's not like they're
I think
standing
that'd
side
be
by
nice.
side.
I like the faux stone
The
idea.
pretend, yeah, I do
That's-
too.
So what it is basically is you would wrap it with wood, and then that stuff just screws right onto
Yeah.
the wood.
I
And
like
they have
that.
cornice pieces made so that the corners look nice and everything.
I like that.
They build lots of houses like with that trim.
unfortunately.
So you'll let us know that too, and then Wayne, we can come up with some verbiage for the sign, I mean, tell us how much verbiage we can have.
The 4-inch letters, I would imagine, gives you, there's about an inch per 100 feet, I think, is the criteria for how big. So if you wanted to see it, 300 feet away, 3-inch or 4-inch letters. Probably 2 rows. I'd have to kind of see what kind of spacing and kerning you would have, but
Can you send us a print area?
yeah,
I mean, you can email us that,
yeah.
okay.
What types of things would you want, what kind of information do you want on the sign?
We want the Gettysburg Address on it.
And do that
LED,
in
we
a
could
three.
probably, if we did it digitally, we might be able to run through there.
Well, we do love digital signs.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Oh, no.
And can we have all the colors?
Oh, you could have gone all night without bringing that up. Oh,
And real bright, so they flash, yeah.
you get to see tonight when you're leaving. We love digital
Oh,
signs.
Well, I mean, I think we were doing
Or
something, to honor, this, I mean, it's not a part, so this roadscape to honor Dan Cubitt and his committee, or his,
Without his commitment, this wouldn't have happened.
yeah, without Dan
What's the
Cubitt,
spelling of his last name?
K-U-B-I-T.
I see.
Is it I-C?
Well, commitment's a big
IT?
word.
No, it's
Couldn't
K,
sign.
you're right.
It's
He's right.
K-U-B.
Can we, I hope that recorded.
You're right.
K-U-B-I-C?
T.
T, Cubit.
Honor of Dan Cubitt and beautification committee, yeah.
Yeah, in honor of Dan Cubitt and the beautification committee. I think that would be, don't you think? I mean, that's,
That's what he was ahead of, the Fairview beautification.
I think that's simple and understandable and,
Or his name, a job well done.
We can get too busy on that sign.
Well, I only think that beautification is gonna be long and take up a lot of sign, but I don't know of any other way. I mean, that's what it was.
and it was
you
the
know.
beautification committee and Dan. And I think if we name him specifically, then it's gonna be apparent
You're
that.
gonna cut out somebody,
Yeah.
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 Is the sign being printed, or how will the letters be
I
placed
have
on?
to ask the guy that does the
Stamp
signs.
the
Is it like street sign?
I would say we'd probably like to see it like the, if we're talking of, like the, welcome to City of Fairview, maybe the signage like that.
Okay.
What do you suggest? I mean, what's, you tell us what everybody else is doing.
We've done different, I mean, each one I think is different, with wood letters on some.
I don't think I.
Knox, we've done, Knox County for Powell, it was like a Lexon, where it was printed digitally. And so we added some depth and tone and kind of actually made it look like wood, but on a metal sign. That one hasn't been built yet, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out.
That
It
sounds
looks
great.
great.
On paper,
Computer,
it
it
sounds
looks-
wonderful.
Let me look into it a little more,
Well,
and
and
some
the-
options.
The welcome to Fairview sign has that, it's not wood, but it looks like wood, so it's very durable, the type of, material. I mean, that,
Raised letters on
Yeah.
a white
Can
background.
you send us, can you email us how that looks, how they look?
I will, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and the verbiage will be helpful if you guys come up with something. Or I
we
might-
just talked, we
Yeah,
got
it's
it.
just-
we got it,
In honor Dan Cubitt.
Honor Dan Cubitt.
And the beautification
And the
committee.
Beautification committee.
Do we need to say the
Lot of
fair?
words
I know, that's what I was worried about.
That's not many words, I could do more.
Oh,
I bet.
Then the sign and be able to read it are two different things.
We could use.
Let me play with it. I think I'm pretty decent with graphics. I might be able to come up with something.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank
Mail
you,
it
thank
to me
you.
and
Yeah.
I'll get it out to him.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
thanks.
He's here also for the mayor. She's
Well,
gonna
do I
talk to
have to
him.
wait? Or can we go ahead and, because we were gonna talk without knowing exactly what we wanted for each plan. Since he was gonna be here, I thought maybe, because he was gonna give us one of my tasks was to get a quote of how much it
For
would,
the
the
whole.
whole thing.
For the whole thing.
And so, once I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, I don't even really know what we're wanting. So I thought maybe if we could utilize the time and kind of tell them exactly what we were looking at. We have a park system that we're looking, and then we need, it would include the
History Village.
History Village. It would do the Veterans Park.
And the
And was it City Hall?
City Hall, what else was there? Let me find my minutes. And somewhere on one of the things I printed from Jane, it had that list. Welcome to Fairview signs,
Oh, yeah.
City Hall landscaping, History Village, the Roadscapes project, and of course Bowie Park, but that was just for restoration and that kind of thing.
So it's 3,
City Hall,
Triangle.
History Village,
historical village,
and the Fairview, Welcome to Fairview areas,
and the veterans,
and the Veterans Park.
that's 4.
4. But I guess we could take out the Welcome to Fairview signs. So Veterans Park,
I really like the Welcome to Fairview sign, but okay.
City Hall landscaping, and the Historical Village.
So we're looking for site plans, landscape plans.
I think ideas, a plan, you know, a master plan that we might not have to do it this year or next year, but we know that if we plant a mum, that needs to go here. So something that will last forever.
For those 3 parks. And they're pretty well defined on like Google Maps or something, if I'm gonna look into them.
Well, some of them are. You might have, with Veterans Park, we are wanting to put a flagpole out there, so we want some landscaping.
Maybe some bricks. Some honorary bricks.
Bricks.
So something that will work.
I kind of shared with him, I'm gonna have to go back to the office and kind of observe and report tonight. I'll have Chris maybe come out and schedule a meeting, and we can see exactly what you're trying to do, and then he can put a scope together for you, and we can certainly help you with that.
I'd be glad to give a tour of where the parks are and everything.
Okay.
And if they'll give a direction on what they want, then y'all have that, and then, but I'll get the location.
But it's basically a master plan for landscaping around the Welcome to Fairview signs. How many of those?
I think, I think,
We already have the plant material for that. but,
yeah,
I
so
mean, you know,
you're
we've already
free and
designated
clear
the
that
plant.
one.
Okay, so City Hall, Heritage Park, and then History Village.
The Veterans Park,
Veteran Park.
3.
History Village,
Yeah.
and land, and City Hall.
Okay.
And I think we kind of want someone's vision that knows what a vision, what it would,
Are there any other programmatic elements that you're looking at, or are we just talking about landscaping? Like hardscape or?
Well, there is the thing that we have talked about here was around City Hall is that since the redbud is the official city tree, is that we're continuing doing clusters of different varieties of redbuds. And that the possibility one day, just like the city of Knoxville has a dogwood festival, we have a redbud festival. And we keep working towards that. And we've been planting, like we've got a weeping maroon leaf redbud called Ruby Falls right out front by the porch. We have 3 Texas white redbuds planted back here in the back. We have an Appalachia red as a memorial tree in the front. Straight species redbuds over here on the side. So redbuds are a theme.
Maybe signage and wayfinding that kind of describes the differences between those?
You know, I don't know if it needs to be, you're going to see the difference. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be really obvious, you know, when you're going to have a white blooming redbud right next to a fuchsia color.
If you go over to Botanical Gardens, sometimes they'll have these little small flags.
They do.
don't we
designating
have
what
one
they
out
are.
front?
We have, well, that is, all that is a memorial
Or
sign
pride.
for.
I think that maybe is that what you're kind of getting at.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, maybe like a history
And
of what
that's-
makes this one special. If we were going down the direction of you know, celebrating them, and then
Yeah.
maybe some
I
common area.
interpret
or
it as
central
signage, sure.
Space to go to and say, this is kind of what inspired the idea.
In History Village, I can kind of see it looking like people want to go into it. That kind of leads people into that area to look at the buildings and to kind of figure out what, because right now it's just a big open field that is not does not say come in and.
Yeah, you'll
and-
see.
and-
You'll have fun with
I
that.
can vision kind of the Knoxville, have you ever seen like the downtown, they've taken the area and the holidays, you could see the lights and people could walk, kind of just a pathway. That's kind of what I could see.
Andrew, the one big stipulation is that I think we probably need to stick to, and y'all just tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, but we have in the city an approved tree list, and now we have an approved shrub list. But
Yes.
And you can get that off of our
Website.
website.
But one of our goals is with the master plan is we want to, we need an idea of how much this would cost us to get this master plan for these 3 parks, because we want to go ahead and designate some of the tree fund money to doing that. We need to.
That's where I need Chris or
Okay.
somebody else. I
Yeah.
can't speak to that.
Right, but that's our intent, and by doing it together, and we need it set up where if we do one year, perfect. But then, then we could, break it apart, we know what to do. And, we want to make sure that this money gets put aside or held for that purpose.
Would
There's
that be
4 payments.
more illustrative though,
One
so
is
they'd be
there.
able to share it with the public and they could see the idea, or
I would
we're
love
thinking they're more
that.
construction documents where it's black and white, this
Well,
is where things are
We
gonna go.
talked about that. If it's suitable for framing, you're
Yeah.
gonna pay the money.
And I think that at Veterans Park, one of the things they want to do, of course, is put up flagpoles and do the bricks. So, where would be the best place to put that? Where would the bricks go? How would they go? What design would they be? All those kinds of things, so that we don't go in and start doing this and then realize 2 years from now, oh, good grief, we should have done this.
Okay.
I think they've talked a lot about handicap access down there too, and
I think
sidewalks.
that's almost
so there's-
required, isn't it?
That's pretty much required.
They talked about sidewalks all the way around the park. I don't know where it's at. I think Park Commission too would have some input on it, so we probably had to put Ron Rowe in touch with you.
But yes, we definitely want ADA compliant. I mean, that's,
Well, especially Veterans Park,
yes, especially that. And it's easy ADA. I mean, it's so that it's,
Yeah, that is, yeah.
yeah.
They've chosen that lake out there to be our fishing rodeo for the children and everything each spring too, so,
The one at,
yeah, Veterans Park.
so even that needs to be taken, if that's gonna be a fishing lake, then,
imagine when we go out for tours,
They're getting the
look at the
engineering
site
done
and
now.
probably be more clear that maybe there's a project here or something that we want to include in.
Have a vision.
Yeah, develop a program for each space. I'll definitely let them know what I found out tonight, and I'm sure we'll be back in touch with that.
exciting.
Okay, great.
It's great.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming. I
you.
Yeah, that's
appreciate
great.
it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Andrew, appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
And hope everything
I
goes
think
well.
the high school is doing it.
I'm kind of stubborn in these.
Yeah.
I'd vibrate.
I would too.
That they all get done.
So I think that's but as long as we know where they're going and how many we can do, and, there has to be a how many, what's the max? and-
Well, and even if we get
If you
this,
need my
then
help
we
on
can
anything,
say
I'm
to
here
the
for
high
you.
school,
Okay.
this is
I
what
say
our
we're in pretty
vision
good shape now, as
would
long as
look
we can
like,
get
this
the-
is what we,
Advertising.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Need me for anything else?
Good job.
Andrew, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
See all of you
Appreciate
good.
it, yeah.
Coming.
Okay, 5.4, review and provide additional details and information on recommendations sent to the, well, I think we've just covered that. Don't you think, Patty?
I think so, because
a big
we'll
leap.
know it pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Patty, here you go.
Okay.
5.5, update on appointment for Park Commission representative.
Okay, Mitch Dowdy has, agreed to do it. We will need to, I don't know if we have to or not, but to go back and, just get an official vote from the, planning commission board. But, I just asked for volunteers and found somebody that was willing, and so it will go, I'll get it added on the, Tuesday agenda to vote, on. But-
You need to get it in by tomorrow, right?
Okay. Wayne?
You're on a deadline.
Members, I've got your packets already. They're gonna take a suitcase to carry them out tonight.
Well, we just need to add, I guess, to get official vote.
We get it added to
Okay.
the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, 5.6, review of Title 13, we've just done this. So we've taken care of that, we had our workshop, and we did that.
But where do we go from here with the agenda? Is this something that is tabled? Because we have made notes
We will-
on the workshop.
I think that, do we want to schedule another workshop for next month to go through the next section?
15 minutes before 7?
Well, I think if we do it an hour before and go through more,
Okay.
I think that was the problem this
Yeah.
time. We thought
Get
it would
more
take us
accomplished if we're
longer.
gonna do
I
that.
think we just said we will spend an hour on reviewing those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
specify
good
exactly what we're
idea.
gonna.
I
yeah.
like it.
And one thing, I will research as far as what I need to find out legally about the ordinance on the private property.
Well, it might be better, Wayne, just wait till we get through it, because there might be more.
Over to it, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we may find more things.
So the question, are we gonna present this to the BOC as one package, or are we gonna do this in sections?
I think we should finish it and present it as one package.
One package. It'd be a pretty
But I
good
like to
package.
do it in an hour and not having a limit.
No limit.
So,
Well, you'll utilize the whole hour rather than sitting here
Yeah.
for 30-minute break.
do I hear a motion that we come an hour early in November and spend an hour going as far as we can reviewing the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Good. There were no new items for the agenda. Mr. Wayne Hall,
$97,625.46,
how much do we earn this month?
$8.26.
Hey,
Does that include the MAPCO money or?
Not yet, I
Not
haven't
yet?
got
we don't have that
yet.
yet. Any citizen comments?
97,625.46.
Okay. 97,620. Yes, ma'am. And isn't it wonderful we have that, so now if the roadscapes go over, we'll have to revamp that plan.
I know.
That interest we earn, it's helping pay for it.
So our next meeting is Tuesday, November the 3rd at 6 PM. Well, our next meeting is at 7 o'clock. Our workshop begins at 6 PM on November the 3rd. And with no further business, we are adjourned.